Shalom Alechem, Assalamu Alaikum. Welcome to Ezra Chapter 6. There are 22 verses in this chapter. Beginning in verse 2, we see here the city versus Akmetha. Actually, I didn't even look that up. I'll look it up right now. Verse 3, we have an omission of holy. So this is the decree by King Cyrus. And the word holy is used to describe the temple, the house of Elohim. So that is an important detail, denoting its sanctification, its sanctity, that it was truly special. Even King Cyrus acknowledged this, that it is a holy house. Okay, let's take a look at that tab, see what Akmatha means. Aramaic, Ekabatana, capital of Media. So that is a strong possibility. So I'm open-minded to that being another name for that city. Verse 6 now. Ye rulers versus Tatnai, the governor. So that's the name of the governor in the Masoretic. Notice on the other side, it says on the other side of the river, does not equal beyond the river. Well, actually it does. Other side means beyond the river. That's what it means. Meaning this side and beyond are not synonymous and were in fact significant differences, especially in the previous video where we looked at the Septuagint saying either beyond the river and then the Masoretic saying on this side of the river. They're not equivalent. This side and beyond are not synonymous. There's an omission in this same verse talking about give these things. These are the instructions that they were to follow through and provide those items described in the decree of King Cyrus. In verse 8, we have another omission. It says, if haply you may do somewhat. And the footnote for this word hindered, they be not hindered, reads made to cease, so do not even stop them. Especially don't stop them from building. Verse 9, whatsoever they shall ask versus without fail. So give them whatever they ask. That seems more generous, more helping them, assisting them with the materials as opposed to give them day by day without fail. So this is, it's opening the floodgates to speak. Whatever they need, please provide, as opposed to give them what is determined, predetermined according to all these different items that are part of this list in verse 9. In verse 11 it says, let him be lifted up and slain upon it, talking about every man who will alter this word. This is kind of reminds me of a messianic, that you're lifting up the Messiah and killing him upon the wood, although it might be a stretch in all honesty. However, in the Masoretic it reads, being set up, talking about the timber, let him be hanged on it. So being hanged on the beam versus slain upon it. Slain seems to denote some kind of precursor to crucifixion perhaps, but hanged is explicitly, hanging someone from that, like a gallows. And it reads as well, not only that will he be slain, but his house shall be confiscated. In the Masoretic it reads, his house be made a dunghill for this. So if a house is confiscated, it's not exactly destroyed, it's simply repossessed to be used by the empire, the Persian Empire, the government authorities, versus made a dunghill, which is seemingly demolished, turned into a dunghill, not to be ever used again for habitation. And the footnote for the word confiscated reads, shall be done according to me. Verse 12, let it diligently let it be diligently attended to, this decree, versus let it be done with a speed. So the difference is quality versus uh, chronology in terms of the speed at which the task is done with quality versus alacrity. Verse 13. So they did diligently versus speedily. Again, that contrast. Verse 14, an omission of the Levites. So the elders of the Jews and the Levites built. So notice the Levites are part of the construction team. It says it, finished it. The footnote reads the house, the temple was finished. And exposition here. So by the decree of the Elohim of Israel, it says here. So in fact, Hashem or Yah is the one behind the scenes who's moving these things along. The decree of Cyrus, the decree of Darius, the decree of Artaxerxes. It was Hashem all along behind the scenes because it identifies it was by his decree. And so it comes from the top and goes to the bottom. And the successors to the respective kings of Persia. One of the greatest kingdoms of all human history, I have to add. Okay, so at verse 20, it says, all were clean. I'm going to go over there. All were clean to a man. So this expression could mean one of two things, that every man was clean, every single one, or they were clean by the standards of man. More likely it is the former. And in the Masoretic, it reads, all of them were pure. Because we are going by the standard of the Torah, not man's standards or man's laws. So that's why I lean towards the former than the latter. So that's all for this chapter. And just want to mention in passing, I did have a sort of eureka moment just thinking about this. I'll probably do a video on it. I'm not going to mention what it is, but it has to do with the potential third temple. So I'll leave it at that. Stay tuned for that if I actually do go and do that video. And with the new administration in America, actually. So thank you very much for your time. Until next time, a video. Shalom Aleichem, Assalamu Alaikum, Irini Mazisu, Pax Vobiscum. Peace be unto you, Shabbat Shalom, and Maranatha.